He was told he only had rock and roll left to give the world, and somehow he kept giving it right up to his final days. This is the story of Freddy "Boom Boom" Cannon, the man behind some of the most joyful songs of early rock and roll and the quiet ending to a career that lasted 70 years. Freddy Cannon, born Frederick Anthony Picariello Jr., has died at the age of 89. He passed away on Friday, July 17, 2026 at a hospice facility in Oxnard, California. His longtime friend, iHeartRadio's Tom Cuddy, confirmed the news to Variety on behalf of the family. The cause of death was cancer, and by every account the diagnosis came suddenly, late in his life. Reports indicate Cannon had only very recently been diagnosed before he passed, meaning he faced his final battle in a remarkably short window of time. Despite that, he never really stopped being who he always was, a performer who lived for music until the very end. In fact, his final days revealed just how much that passion never faded. Cannon had actually been scheduled to record what would have been his last interview on July 11th, sitting down with legendary disc jockey cousin Brucey Morrow. Instead, he was taken to the hospital the day before that interview could happen. Even so, those close to him say he was working on music at his Oxnard home right up until his hospitalization. One of his final projects was a song called The Svengoolie Stomp, recorded for the cult horror television host Svengoolie. He even had a song charting in the UK this year, a new recording called All She Wants to Do Is Dance, which reached the top 20 on the Heritage charts, proof that his creative energy never really slowed down, even at 89 years old. Tributes came quickly once the news broke. His daughter, Connie Weber, released a statement on behalf of the family, thanking everyone for their love and support throughout their father's life, and saying he would be remembered as a rock and roll icon whose music will live forever in their hearts. His friend Tom Cuddy remembered him as a performer unlike any other, recalling that Freddie simply didn't do ballads, and that Dick Clark himself used to specifically ask Cannon to open his oldies concerts because he knew Freddie would get an entire audience up on its feet. Fellow musicians felt his influence deeply too. Robert Plant reportedly told Cannon that Led Zeppelin once recorded a version of Tallahassee Lassie, though it was never officially released, while Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones did release their own cover, with Jagger later saying it helped inspire their song Brown Sugar. Even author Stephen King, a lifelong fan, referenced Cannon's music in 4 of his novels, including featuring Palisades Park in his book 11/22/63. As for funeral or memorial arrangements, nothing has been publicly announced yet. No service date, location, or public gathering details have been released by the family at this time, so fans hoping to pay tribute in person will need to wait for further word directly from those closest to him. To really understand why Freddy Cannon's death is being felt so deeply across the music world, you have to go back to where it all began. Born in Revere, Massachusetts and raised nearby in Lynn, Cannon became one of the defining voices of the era, sitting right between Elvis Presley and the Beatles. He earned his nickname Boom Boom from the powerful driving drum sound that defined his records, as well as a playful nod to his last name. He landed 3 top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, including Tallahassee Lassie, Way Down Yonder in New Orleans and Palisades Park, the latter of which sold more than 1 million copies on its own. His debut album, The Explosive Freddy Cannon, made history as the first rock and roll album by any artist to top the UK albums chart. He also holds the record for the most appearances ever made on Dick Clark's American Bandstand, appearing an astonishing 110 times, a record that still stands today. Over a career spanning 7 decades, he shared stages with legends like Chuck Berry, Fats Domino, Little Richard, Chubby Checker, Jerry Lee Lewis, Bo Diddley, Connie Francis, and Brenda Lee, cementing his place as one of the true architects of early rock and roll. Cannon's personal life carried its own heavy losses in recent years. His wife and high school sweetheart Jeanette passed away in September of 2024, and his son John died just months before Freddie himself back in April of this year. He is survived by his children Connie and Billy, his sister Mary Lou, 5 grandchildren and 7 great-grandchildren. Freddy Cannon leaves behind a soundtrack that shaped an entire era of American music, energetic, joyful, and impossible to sit still to. He spent 70 years making people get up and dance, and by every account he never really stopped, working on music in his own home until the very last days of his life.